Hello and welcome to This Day. I'm BJ Arnett, your host. I'm so excited to be able to unveil some of the things that we hide, the things that we don't want anybody to know about, the things that we just don't want to talk about, the things that might show that where our humanity is really out there in front of the crowd. Sometimes we need to unveil some of those things that we're hiding. And we need to do it in a safe way, in a safe space, and to help us navigate how to be clear and focused on things that are hidden being unveiled. Our author today is Shun Jamerson Tomlin. Shun, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
I find it interesting that the name of your book is hidden, but everything about your bio, if you will, is talking about unveiling and taking off the mask, showing that we can be better than what we think ourselves to be. Talk to us about why it was important for you personally to pen this book and be able to share such truths.
It was important to me because, unlike Sabrina, I can relate to Sabrina's story. And a lot of women in my age category, younger, older, carry a lot of stuff that's hidden. And for me, it was impressed on me to ignite the conversations in household that needs to be addressed, that we shy away from, not only in our household, but in our community. And so as me being a 50-something-year-old woman, there were things that, I kept getting from my childhood, and I carried up with me until an adult. And it affected me, in my life and choices that I made. And I got to a point where I was like, wait a minute, this needs to be addressed so other people can heal from, certain situations.
You are a certified marriage coach, as well as being an entrepreneur. And you've actually been able to tap into the things that have happened in your childhood that have affected your adulthood. That's something that most people don't ever really get to do without coming to it from a blame perspective. I blame my father for this, for not being there. I blame my mother for this, for being so hard. I blame. But many times as adults, we have to remind ourselves that we too make choices. And one of the first choices we have to make is the choice to forgive.
Yeah.
Talk to us about that point where you recognize that the upbringing wasn't all that it could have been, but the forgiveness is what you needed to do in order to be able to step to your right self.
Yes, absolutely. When I became married, when I was married, that's when I first realized that, something was wrong. Because although I was married, I married the love of my life, but I always felt that there was something, a dread that was over my life. I couldn't be happy. It was like, okay, what's going on with me? I thought I was like going crazy. And so I got to a point where I suppressed some of my hidden childhood trauma that I had suffered. So an incident happened when I was married, and everything that I dealt with, it surfaced. And from that point, I had to go through my healing stage. Now, mind you, healing, that's a stage. You don't just do it like, okay, I want to heal. No, healing takes time. Like forgiveness, that takes time. I was able to go back and forgive the person that, that I felt wronged me. And we need to understand, we may not get the question asked, can you forgive me? That don't have anything to do with me forgiving that person, because forgiveness was for me. And I had to take accountability for certain things that I allowed. So that made me, be able to accept, okay, this happened, I can't change that. But it was up to me to take my own healing in perspective, and I wanted to be healed and I wanted to make a change. So all that came from like healing and forgiving. And one of my statements I make, in order to heal, you must forgive.
Yes, you must forgive. In order to heal, you must forgive. And that begins to take broken pieces and put them back together in a whole way. As you've looked at the family structure and you've looked at the things that you went through personally and you've heard from other people, then you begin to pen this book called Hidden. How has your personal life poured into this particular book? And why would you do that? Girl, you could have kept that secret.
Well, me is being, first of all, I'm a minister, so I have an obligation to God, to minister, to certain people. And ministry has different levels. And my form of ministry is healing. How can I help someone else get healed if I don't share my story on how I was healed?
Your testimony.
So, my testimony. And to be honest, this wasn't something that happened overnight. I fought against it. When I tell you I fought against it because I am an introvert by nature. I'm a private person. I don't talk to like a whole lot of people. So when it was impressed on me to do this book, I was like, oh God, like really, first of all, I don't really like talking to people like that, but it's pushing me out of my comfort zone and it's pushing me more into my calling. And I thank God for it because I've been getting so much positive feedback from young women, young and old, inboxing me, texting me, telling me, they appreciate me, coming forward, telling my story. But it was a journey. And I cried many nights, but it was a journey. And I thank God that he allowed me to share my testimony, not only, through words, but through different platforms. And I also thank you for the opportunity. So, yeah.
I love that because there takes a certain amount of boldness and dependency on the Holy Spirit to be able to do that because, there are people around you in your circle who didn't know.
They didn't
know. So now when this starts coming out and you didn't, call them and say, I want to tell you something before the book comes out. I want to tell you something before you see me on NBC, CBS, WATC. I want to tell you.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily think of it that way as the person purging this and healing from all of this. But then that nucleus, that committed people around you can feel some sort of way about that, and you recognize that, but you still launch out into what I consider the deep and be able to tell that story.
Yes.
Have you seen the fruit from telling the story?
I have. One thing that I think it was like the first or second person that reached out to me. It just touched my heart. I was actually on a trip to Mall of America with my grandson for his birthday. This lady sent me a long text message. At first I was like, okay, I'm at the mall, I'm not gonna read this. And I was like, okay, I kept going back to it. So I don't want to start crying. So she told me, she was like, this book saved my life. She was like, you don't understand. She was saying that as a child, she was like ostracized. She was talked about. Because she came forth and told her mom what her stepdad had did to her. And she said she's I don't want to say her age too much, but she's a woman of age. And she talked about that, what she experienced as a child. She had never told anyone besides her mom and besides telling me. And she said when she read my book, now she has the courage to speak her piece. She said it doesn't matter who know or what know, she needs to get that off of her. And I had to call her. I'm like, this is the conversation I can't just text. So I called her, and I prayed with her. And I told her, I say, you are not responsible for what someone else did. I said, that's their problem. That's not your problem. And I told her, I said, God loves you. I said, you cannot no longer hold on to baggage that you are not meant to carry.
There you are. That is so true. And, what people don't recognize is that each person that hears your testimony gives them the opportunity to get the strength, to be able to tell what has happened to them and to heal from it. It's not about just telling the story. It's about being able to heal from it, to grow from it, to recognize that I don't blame these people. I don't hate these people. I pray for these people who did wrong to me, but I can grow from this point because look at you now. Let's use you as an example. And I love your smile. That is, you have those little cheeks that your face just lights up. But it's because you no longer are holding on to pain and agony. And what was once hidden is now unveiled.
Yes. Free indeed.
Free indeed. As you take a look at the days ahead and how the book is doing and all of the things that you as an author can come and give to people, what are your expectations? What is God telling you that develops that expectation in you?
Well, my desire is to have a women's conference in 2023. To have a women's conference where women could come together and help her heal her. Because we as women, we carry so much baggage, and we need, to lean on each other, because you make heal from my story, I make a heal from your story. We all need to hear each other's story and help each other heal. Because that's the only way, people are going to get healed, by hearing other people's story, how they made it across, how they got delivered from certain things. So I'm not ashamed, because I know that, God delivered me, and, and I just thank God for this opportunity. And I thank him for even allowing me to be able to share my story to help other women heal.
In 2023, there's going to be this great group of women that meet virtually and in person, and a bondage that has been set will be broken for many, many more women. And you will have been the one God used to be the catalyst to make that happen. Stand graciously as you continue, because that is no small thing. And it's just a joy to see you step into that calling. Say it again on your T-shirt. It says,
help her, heal her.
Help her, heal her. The book is called Hidden, and it gives us a way to see that everything that was hidden in pain and agony and in pressures that a young person, a child, should have never had to have, can be relieved and healed. Is there, we have about a minute left. Is there a way, is there a something, a one sentence or one word that you want people to hear and understand that will help them take that leap of faith that will allow them to tell their story?
Don't be afraid of the naysayers. It's your truth, your pain, you lived it, so it's time to reveal it.
It's time to reveal it and to heal from it.
And to heal from it. Yep, to help her, heal her.
Help her, heal her. You are an absolute joy to talk to. Shun Jamerson Tomlin. You're a very sweet lady. The website is author.sjt.com, and 2023 will be a blockbuster kind of party.
Absolutely.
For both men and women, and for the whole family. There's going to be a breaking that occurs because someone that that I know, that we know around the way in the neighborhood has had the ability to tell their story and to heal from it. Not blame, not agonize, but heal, grow, and testify of the goodness of God that they're able to move forward. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Continue to be what God called you to be.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
God bless you. Guys, it's something to just be able to tell your story, but it's something to be able to tell it in truth and integrity. Never blame, never hurt so much that you can't tell it, with the resolve that God got you in this and he got you out. God bless you.